Ireland's record on combating racial discrimination under the UN Convention on the Elimination of Racial Discrimination, CERD as it's called, is under scrutiny by the UN in Geneva this week. In his opening address to the UN Committee, Minister David Stanton stated that Ireland has also looked outwards with regards to its international obligations towards those fleeing conflict and persecution, and that Ireland has developed family reunification initiatives to enable families and communities to bring to Ireland relatives living in areas of conflict. Well, this is not quite correct, or at least not correct according to the Irish Human Rights and Equality Commission, who stated in an independent report of Ireland's compliance with the UN Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Racial Discrimination, which was published last week. IREC said that they have serious concerns regarding retrogressive measures on family reunification introduced in the International Protection Act 2015 that limit the statutory right to family reunification to members of the nuclear family and requires family reunification applications to be made within 12 months of the grant of refugee or subsidiary protection status, a timeframe that is impossible for many refugees. My International Protection Family Reunification Amendment Bill offers a pathway forward in line with the IREC report. So I'm asking the Taoiseach and the Government to grant this modest bill a money message. This would be a quick and easy step for the Government to take, as the Family Reunification Bill has passed all stages in this House and second stage in the Dáil last December with sizeable majorities. And if there are improvements to the bill from a government perspective, these can be worked out at committee stage. A money message for the Family Reunification Bill will allow us to expeditiously move forward and take prompt action on our responsibilities to refugees under the Convention of the Elimination of Racial Discrimination. And if passed, this bill would bring our state into line with UN CERD obligations and would mean a great deal to people who are desperately seeking to reunite with family members. People like Izzudeen Al-Karaja, who submitted a statement to the Joint Oireachtas Committee on Justice and Equality for the detailed scrutiny of the Family Reunification Bill, which took place last February, and who is desperately seeking to reunite with his mother, who is in a very dangerous situation in Palestine. At a time of rising anti-immigration sentiment, it is enormously important that we as legislators reaffirm our commitment to welcoming people in need of international protection with openness and with warmth. A money message for the Family Reunification Bill would be a step in the right direction, and there are only incidental expenses involved with that bill. Also in Geneva, the UN Committee have heard from a number of traveller NGOs and others who also have highlighted how the state is falling short on traveller accommodation, hate speech, education, health, employment and more. Many of these issues have also been raised in the Joint Committee on Key Issues Affecting the Traveller Community, which I chair. The UN Rapporteur for CERD, Dr Shepherd, commented favourably on the Traveller Culture and History in Education Bill 2017, which has now passed through all stages through the Seanad, and we need to progress this bill and pass it through the Dáil, as Minister McHugh promised on the 16th of October. Passing this bill would be yet another brownie point for the Minister and the Irish State, and a step forward for Ireland in fulfilling its UN obligations. So I've done bits of work for the Government here, both in family reunification and the traveller culture and history. All they need to do is take them up and run with them. So, Leader, I would ask if you could invite to the Seanad Minister Stanton, who delivered Ireland's statement to the UN Committee, and to outline what actions and commitments his government is taking on foot of the hearings today and yesterday in Geneva. And I will be listening with great interest and intent about government actions on family reunification as well as traveller rights, including the teacher of traveller history and culture in education in particular. So I would like, if, Leader, you would invite Minister Stanton in to hear what he has to report on.